My husband cheated. During this period, I have 2 lovers outside. 3 o'clock in the morning. My husband and I were sleeping in bed as usual. Suddenly, the phone rang urgently. I picked up my phone and took a look. It turns out it's not my phone. My husband often goes on business trips. There is not much time left to return. He is sleeping so soundly. I felt reluctant to wake him up, so I picked up his phone. She tiptoed into the bathroom to answer the phone. On the other end of the phone, a woman's voice came through, anxious and tinged with tears. "Husband, where are you? When will you be back? Abao is sick. High fever persists. What should I do?" At the same time, in the background, the sound of a baby crying could be heard. I would like to ask something, but it feels like something is stuck in my throat. Not a word can be spoken. "Husband, honey, are you listening?" The other party saw that I had no reaction. The voice sounded noticeably anxious. It wasn't long before the call ended. Listening to the beeping sound on the other end of the phone, I have finally slowly regained my voice. I trembled as I tried to dial back. However, the call could never be connected. It feels like everything that just happened was a nightmare. It feels really unreal. I quickly noted the number in my mind. I haven't had the chance to go through my husband's WeChat messages yet. I heard my husband's voice from behind. "Wife, what are you doing? It's so late. Come over and go to sleep. Don't catch a cold." I have my husband's phone. The back tensed up, just about to explain something. Looking back, he had fallen asleep again. I no longer want to check it. After all, it's not wise to act impulsively. Climb onto the bed and put the phone back. I felt his hand resting on my waist, hugged me tightly. "Wife, go to sleep. Come, let me hold you. You feel cold all over. Don't catch a cold." Nathan's voice is not loud. There is still a bit of a sleepy nasal tone. I looked up. He was found sleeping with his eyes closed. It seems that all of this was just an instinctive action on his part. We met through a matchmaking arrangement. Although there are some etiquettes, but it is somewhat similar to a romantic relationship. At the time of marriage, Nathan gave a dowry of $300,000. My family also provided a dowry of $200,000. I believe him. After getting married, I gave him all my money to start his business. Nathan is very smart. Soon became a partner in a real estate company. The business is getting better and better, but he is also becoming busier. I am on business trips outside for almost 20 days each month. I used to have doubts as well. I went to his company and asked. The response received was that he is indeed very busy, but besides those 20 days of business trips, the other times are normal working hours, 9 to 5. As time goes by, if nothing can be found, then I won't have any suspicions. However, the current situation is starting to shake my confidence. Has this man, who subconsciously worries about catching a cold and getting sick, really betrayed me? Once there is doubt in the heart, it is difficult to eliminate. It will only escalate. Thinking of this, I shook Nathan awake from the bed. Then he began to question him. "Nathan, are you seeing someone else outside? Why is there always a business trip?" Nathan was awakened by me. At first, I was stunned, but after hearing what I said, the expression on his face immediately became uneasy. He frowned, said to me irritably, "What kind of woman is that? One of you is enough. Emily, aren't you going to sleep at night? Isn't the business trip meant to earn more money to support you?" Speaking, he wanted to hold me in his arms again, but I feel very troubled inside. They began to refute with their words. "Where are you going for your business trip? You work in real estate. There isn't that much work to be busy with. Are you hiding something from me? And a woman just called you. Call your husband. You should tell me who that woman is." Nathan seems to have never argued with me about anything, but his shout made me even more certain about some things. I gradually became more and more angry. "Woman? What kind of woman? Did you answer my call, Emily? Do you have a problem?" Nathan looked very nervous. It felt like touched his bottom line. He suddenly shouted at me. Then he picked up his phone and walked out of the room. "You can sleep by yourself. I dislike being doubted the most. I don't like others touching my phone. Emily, think for yourself." He spoke while heavily slamming the door shut. I watched his figure leave in a bit of surprise. We have been married for 5 years, although we are not together most of the time, but I still know him very well. His current demeanor indicates that he has something on his mind. He is avoiding. I couldn't sleep all night, lying in bed, lost in random thoughts. Morning, Nathan went to work as if nothing had happened, although there are some doubts in my mind, but my daily life goes on as usual, washing clothes, cooking, taking care of children, and cleaning. After sending Zaya out to kindergarten, I went home and began to tidy up. While tidying up, I unexpectedly discovered something that made me feel a bit uncomfortable. I opened Nathan's suitcase as usual, prepared to take out the dirty clothes inside for washing. I didn't expect that. Among the pile of neatly organized clothes, I found a pair of underwear. These clothes, including t-shirts and socks, it was all purchased by me. And now, I saw the panties with the words "kiss" from my wife on them. I couldn't help but fall into deep thought. I have always bought Nathan's simple cotton underwear. They are all black, gray, and blue. I would never buy such cartoon underwear. Moreover, this is a couple's style. So did Nathan really cheat? Is the person who called last night him? Last night when Nathan got off work and came home, I did not argue with him, but pretended to be uninvolved. I want to take a look at his chat history first. After finishing the meal, Nathan was lying in bed. It seems there's nothing going on. He fell asleep soon after, for safety reasons. I waited until he was completely asleep, just started checking his phone. He soon began to snore. I carefully picked up his phone, walking towards the bathroom. After trying the password several times, in the end, he successfully unlocked it using the combination of his birthday. Nathan's phone is a Huawei. It runs on the Harmony OS, divided into 2 systems. Nothing particularly special was found in the first system. Inside are just some chat records between him and me. There is also information about clients in the work. However, when I switched to the second system, the situation is different. I found a marked number noted as Sophia. After entering WeChat, also found content related to Sophia. "Husband, what are you busy with? Our baby is sick. I am so worried. I really wish you could be by my side. Tomorrow is our first wedding anniversary. Can you come back earlier? Wife, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I will come back immediately after I finish the company's tasks. Obedient, where do you want to go tomorrow? I will take you to eat something delicious." In Nathan's trumpet, he is using a couple's profile picture. The background is also filled with photos of that woman. The woman is very beautiful, looks clever and smart. She has long, wavy hair. The figure is both slender and voluptuous, exuding a mature charm. The red rose seems to perfectly describe her. I don't know why. I always feel like I have seen her somewhere before, but for a moment, I can't recall it. Put all the evidence away. As dawn gradually broke, I put Nathan's phone back where it originally was, as if nothing happened. The next morning, Nathan had just stepped out. I dropped off my son at kindergarten, so I quickly found a store. I bought a tracking locator. When my husband finishes work and picks me up on the way home, I found a reason to have my husband go back first. "Husband, I left my bag in the car. It's going to rain soon. You and Xiao Bao go back first. I'll be there right away." This locator is very small. A card was inserted inside. No need to charge. The battery can last for 3 years. I open the car door, quickly stick the tracker in a small corner of the back seat of the car. Then I arranged the mat, carrying the bag as if nothing were the matter. Soon caught up with my husband and the little one. "You, always so careless. It's really worrying." Nathan spoke to me in a tone filled with affection and teasing. Then he looked at me with a hint of apology. "Emily, I'm sorry. I just received the news. The company's situation is quite urgent. I need to rush to Miami for a business trip." Hearing his words, I felt a tightening in my chest. It indeed has come, although I had been mentally prepared for it long ago. But to hear him say it in person, it still feels different. I forced a smile. Yet there was a twinge of sadness in my heart. Pretend that nothing happened, complaining to Nathan as usual. Sigh, "You just returned a few days ago. I have to go on a business trip again. When will this work ever be finished? Don't wear yourself out. Listen to me." Nathan breathed a sigh of relief, immediately looked at me with a loving gaze. "My wife is really well behaved. Wait for me at home, obediently. If Xiao Bao has upset you, if you're not happy, just let me know. I'll come back to help you teach him a lesson." Saying, "He wants to kiss me." My vision darkened, gently stepped back while holding the baby. "Xiao Bao, did you hear that? Your dad said that if you don't behave, you'll get punished." Nathan didn't mind my avoidance, still wearing a smile on her face. Pack Nathan's luggage. After sending him out, I turned on my phone, quietly waiting to see the changes in the locator. The locator followed his car. First, I went to the company, then went to the hospital. After staying for a while, he returned. Seeing the location constantly moving, I couldn't help but start thinking. Did Nathan notice that I was watching him? I was thinking about these things. Not long after, I saw Nathan's car parked in the community across the street. I couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. He lowered his head and looked out the window. Although the distance is a bit far, some light was blocked by the shade of the tree, but I still recognized him at once. At this moment, Nathan was still wearing the clothes he had on when he went out, holding a small baby in her arms. There is also a woman next to her, although the woman's appearance is unclear, but it is evident that she is not very old, dressed quite fashionably. I thought about a lot of things. Nathan's partner is not from Miami. Does he go to Miami to be with that woman every time he cheats? Does that woman know that Nathan is already married? At this moment, I feel very unwell. It's one thing for Nathan to cheat. He actually kept that woman by my side. She was so close, right in front of my eyes. Based on the baby that Nathan is holding, they have been together for at least over 2 years. I had no idea at all for more than a year. At this moment, I feel very uncomfortable. My heart was filled with anger, particularly regarding the disappointment in Nathan. His attitude towards family makes me feel very uncomfortable. What's even more frustrating is that he actually tried to deceive me as if I were a fool. Little treasure, what are you doing? Is that Dad? Hearing the tender voice of the child, I only just noticed that he had come up to me at some point, pointing in the direction where Nathan and the woman left. Little treasure, don't misunderstand. That is not Dad. Dad has gone on a business trip. It will be a few days before I can come back. I find it hard to understand Zaya Abao's sensitivity. Even from such a distance, I could recognize that it was Nathan, but Zaya Abao is still young. This kind of scene is indeed quite glaring to him. Little treasure. Not correct. That is Dad. He was wearing this outfit before he went out. Zaya Abao expressed doubt about what I said. Focus on that building. It was as if someone was trying to see through it. After soothing the little one, a bold idea sprang to my mind. Nathan goes to and from work on time every day. When he is with me, is it the same with the woman across from me? So, in the past few days, I started paying attention to Nathan's activities. Also pay attention to the situation of the building across the street. I observed for several days. One day, I saw Nathan's car drive into a nearby neighborhood, did not return at night. I was completely bewildered. What is going on? Is Nathan cheating with more than just Sophia? With such doubts, I continued to observe for a few more days. It turns out that this is indeed the case. During the day, Nathan still commutes to and from work as usual. There are no issues with the work. He only stays a few days in each place, then went to the next place. Half a month passed quickly. Nathan got home earlier than I expected. I saw the surveillance on my phone. I saw him driving into the neighborhood. Just hide the monitoring app. Then went to the kitchen and pretended to cook noodles. The water has just boiled. The door opened. Nathan said to me, looking exhausted, that this business trip was really tiring. He said, "Wife, I am back. This business trip to Miami really wore me out. Take a look at the Miami specialties I brought back for you and Zaya Obao. Do you like it? I am holding a piece of dough." Said nothing, just quietly watch him. In the past, I might really believe every word he says. Now, every time he speaks, I find it hard to believe, even a bit repulsive, seeing that I had no reaction. Nathan was taken aback. Then put down what you have in your hands. Put on slippers. She pretended to be affectionate and walked up to me, want to attract my attention. Wow. Honey, are you planning to cook noodles? I'm just hungry. I enjoy your cooking the most. I am not used to the food outside. His words annoyed me greatly. I don't know if he has said this to many people. I don't know how he can casually say such things. I still haven't fully decided before. Don't want a divorce. At least not for now. I don't want to give everything I have to Nathan and the woman he's seeing on the side. I swatted away Nathan's outstretched hand, muttering as if nothing happened. Look at your hand. Very dirty. Wash your hands before eating. All right. Wife. Nathan was hit by me. Instead, I was not angry. Instead, they happily went to wash their hands. I served the noodles in the living room. Then I started looking at the things Nathan brought back. Miami has some special delicacies and souvenirs. When I saw these things, there is a sense of regret inside. Realizing his initial mistake, Nathan handled the situation very thoroughly. There are no oversights in the details. This is something that many best actors cannot achieve. After Nathan washed his hands, seeing me lost in thought, silently walked in front of me, like a confident little puppy eager for praise. "How is it, wife? Do you like it?" he asked me. I feel a bit confused, but soon adjusted the mindset. She looked up and smiled at Nathan. Like is like, but these things should be quite expensive, right? Don't bring these anymore. It's really a waste of money. Although I complain verbally, I felt a bit disgusted in my heart. These items are indeed specialties of Miami, but it can't really be considered a true specialty. After all, where would you find Miami specialties in New York? Nathan saw me like this. Didn't think much about it. I just thought I was complaining as usual. A smile was still on his or her face. After dinner, it got dark. Nathan, after taking a shower, is wearing a bathrobe. He looked at me with a mischievous smile on his face. Wife, I've missed you these past few days. You have to make it up to me tonight. Regarding Nathan's performance, I feel extremely disgusted. I can chat with him, but I really cannot accept being with him. Recently, Zaya Abao has been having nightmares every night, so he needs me to sleep with him. I don't want to have close contact with Nathan. I found a reason to go to Zaya Abao's room. I'm even a bit afraid of what he might do at night. I locked the door, feeling much more at ease. It really feels comfortable not being with Nathan. Holding the baby, I slept very well. That's it. I used various excuses to avoid him. Time flies until one day I woke up. It is already 10 o'clock in the morning. Nathan has already gone to work. Zaya Bao was also sent to school by him. After I cleaned the house as usual, go downstairs to buy groceries. Not far along. Suddenly, a person rushed towards me, almost knocked me down. You shameless woman. At such an old age, still being a mistress, it's really hard to watch, she said loudly. Speaking, she reached out as if to hit me. The previous impact made me alert. I quickly raised the vegetable basket I was holding in front of my chest. Snap! The vegetable basket fell to the ground. She covered her hand and glared at me. The anger on his face was like a cheetah staring at its prey. It seemed as if it would pounce over in the next moment. I don't feel afraid of the annoying woman in front of me. Instead, he looked at her calmly. She is very good-looking, slim figure. He has a very fiery temper, so it is indeed the type that men like. After confirming her identity, I asked tentatively, "You are Sophia, right?" "I know you," seeing my indifferent attitude. Sophia's face turned even angrier, without paying any attention to the pain in his hands. Pointing at me, they began to denounce me. "It seems you are quite clear about what to do. Are you really that interesting? Do your parents and children know?" I was very shocked by Sophia's sudden visit, but her angry scolding made me very upset. Clearly, she is the third party. How dare you be so audacious? I have seen a wife getting furious at the mistress, but I have never seen a mistress shout at the legal wife so arrogantly. More and more people are gathering to watch. Sophia's voice was getting louder. Even if I have all the patience in the world, at this moment, I couldn't hold it back any longer. Who exactly is Sophia? Nathan and I have been married for 5 or 6 years. The child is already 4 years old. You are the mistress. It's quite bold of you to come and speak to me so loudly. When I am angry, Sophia also seemed very angry, but after hearing what I said, she was taken aback for a moment. After realizing what happened, she began speaking angrily again. "What a mistress. You need to speak clearly to me. Nathan is married to me. Last month was our 2nd wedding anniversary. What are you pretending to be here?" I couldn't help but want to laugh. What 2nd anniversary? Is this woman out of her mind? Is casually having relations considered an anniversary? What is the purpose of law? I think beyond that, it has been said out loud. Sister, I will tell you, love, if not supported by the law, like waste paper. I have been legally married to him for many years, protected by law. It's really ridiculous. Nathan told me, wait until my child is in junior high school. He will go with me to register for the certificate. I dusted off the dirt on my body. Don't rush to conclusions. You wait here for a moment. I went home to fetch the marriage certificate. He handed it to Sophia, who was waiting by the roadside. She was taken aback for a moment. Then she showed a look of shock. The look in her eyes was no longer hostile towards me. On the contrary, there was some anger. It turns out, I am the third party. While chatting with Sophia, I learned that she met Nathan 2 years ago. At that time, Sophia wanted to rent an apartment. The agent I found is exactly Nathan. As time goes by, the two gradually became familiar with each other. Later, Sophia became pregnant. Nathan has always said that he will marry her, but it always drags on without any further progress. At the beginning, Nathan is very nice to Sophia. However, after becoming pregnant, she started to become more sensitive and suspicious. Just a few days ago, she saw Nathan and me taking a child to buy groceries, so they started to pay attention to me. Finally, she wanted to confront me when I went out alone. That's how we met. Sophia and I sat in the cafe, silently looking at each other face to face. No one spoke. At this moment, the authenticity of marriage certificates seems to have lost its significance. Nathan indeed betrayed. There is even a family outside. Thinking of this, I immediately thought of another place Nathan went to after leaving Sophia's house. Is that place the same way? Have you ever thought about it? There might be others outside with Nathan. I looked at Sophia calmly. I want to find some clues from her expression. Sophia was taken aback. Immediately, they showed a look of shock and anger. What do you mean? Are you saying there are other women outside of Nathan? This seems unlikely. How could a man have so much energy? Sophia's face turned red, but her voice grew softer and softer. Finally, I simply kept silent. Just look at me. Wait for me to speak. It seems that Sophia really doesn't know. I really stumbled upon her this time by surprise. I shook my head, thinking quickly in my mind about how to express it. When I saw that Sophia was no longer so excited, I spoke up. Actually, after receiving your call that night, I started to suspect that Nathan was cheating. Later, I found an opportunity to install a tracker on his car. He said he is going to Miami on a business trip. I originally thought he had a woman outside in Miami. I didn't expect that he just drove around the station. Then they came back. They also entered the community across the street. I spoke while doing so, pointing to a high-end residential area not far away. Could not help but shake my head. Continue speaking. I originally thought that this matter would end here. I didn't expect that one night he didn't come back. Then I observed him. He has been staying in another community for a whole week. Listen to my words. Sophia's expression changed. One moment red, the next moment white. Finally, it turned blue-purple again. So he has more than one woman outside. He has deceived more than just me. There are other people. He really makes people feel uncomfortable. I really want to teach him a lesson. Such a man is too scary. Sophia looked at me. Seriously speaking, since you installed a tracker on his car, then we can go meet another woman together next time. Clarify the truth of the situation. We must make him face the consequences. I put the marriage certificate in my pocket. Speak calmly. That's right. I will definitely not give him my house and car. My child definitely cannot follow him. We have made a plan, agreed on the time for the next meeting. Sophia and I added each other as friends. Then they each went home. Wait for the next opportunity. Not long after, Nathan is going on a business trip again. This time, there was a slight change in his business trip schedule. He didn't go to look for Sophia first. Instead, they went to another neighborhood. Although we are somewhat puzzled by this change, but he still decided to proceed according to the original plan. We agreed to meet in that neighborhood, waiting for Nathan to arrive. Not long after, Nathan's car made a circle and then came in. He was also holding a Miami specialty that was the same as what he had brought back a few days ago. In fact, New York is not far from Miami. Logistics is also highly developed, so it's quite convenient to buy local specialties from anywhere. However, looking at what Nathan is holding, Sophia's face suddenly turned pale. I almost couldn't help but want to confront him about it. However, she understood in her heart. It's useless to rush in now. Nathan would definitely not admit it. At most, it would only make the relationship between the two people more strained. To catch a thief, there must be evidence. I stopped Sophia. Cover her mouth. He said to her with a furrowed brow, you might feel a sense of satisfaction if you charge in now, but the two of us addressing it together won't solve anything. Besides, even if Nathan divorces us, he can also start over with others. You really want to make such a sacrifice for him? Hearing me say that, Sophia, who was originally angry, suddenly calmed down. The complexion is not very good, pointing at the thing in Nathan's hand. Take your time to speak. It's just that kind of thing. You don't know that he brings back a little something every time he comes back from a business trip. Sophia's words surprised me. I felt both disgusted with and admiring of Nathan. This guy's methods are really similar. Nathan parked the car and went into the house. Compared to the elevator apartment where Sophia and I live, she lives in a villa area, although our location is quite good. However, it is still much inferior compared to the villa. Although neither Sophia nor I spoke, but we could tell by looking at each other's expressions. Nathan's actions made us all very uncomfortable. The affair is already a bad situation. Can't even achieve basic fairness. We have already found an opportunity. Everything is ready. Just wait for Nathan to leave before we can start acting. He has always wanted to maintain the image of a good man. Work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. This also gave us an opportunity, after 2 days of waiting, while Nathan is at work. Sophia and I began to take action again. Ding dong, I rang the doorbell. Not long after, a very cute girl is wearing a lovely dress. She opened the door with her hair in twin ponytails. Are you here to see someone? A hint of doubt appeared on the woman's face. It seems like they are wondering who Sophia and I are. Did you take a wrong turn? Sophia has always had a fiery temper, although I have told her many times to stay calm. The moment I saw Isabella, she couldn't help but rush up. How dare you still ask me who I am? Truly shameless. It's not bad to learn anything at such a young age. Just insist on learning from others to be the third one. Does your family know about this? Isabella's temper is just like her clothing. It's somewhat similar to Sophia, even more intense. Who are you scolding, shouting loudly at someone else's house? Really rude. I saw that they were about to fight. I have a headache. Quickly stepped in between them to urge them to calm down. Enough, Sophia. You won't forget the reason we came here, will you? I said to Sophia loudly. So she turned to Isabella, said slowly, Isabella, hello, we are not here to cause trouble. Let me introduce myself first. We are all Nathan's wives. My name is Emily. This is Sophia, said. I fear that Isabella won't believe me. She quickly took out the marriage certificate from her bag. This is the marriage certificate of Nathan and me. He has been saying that he will obtain a marriage certificate with Sophia, but I haven't gotten around to doing it. Do you have a marriage certificate? Sophia immediately realized the purpose of our visit. It was no longer noisy. Seeing that Sophia no longer argued, Isabella started to listen to what I was saying. But as she listened on, she became increasingly shocked, until I received the 2 marriage certificates in my hand. Her face turned red. Her eyes were wide open, staring at me. This can't be true. How could such a thing happen regarding this strange situation? Isabella was about to get really angry. I have no mood to argue with Sophia anymore. Yes, Nathan told me that he would go with me to get the marriage certificate. It was simply because his household registration book was lost. Reissuing is comparatively troublesome. That's why it's being dragged out, the 2 of them. Everyone has been deceived by this person, Nathan. I really didn't expect that. Nathan is surprisingly good at lying, so we began to discuss how to deal with him. We also found a law firm, inquire whether Nathan's behavior is illegal. In the end, we made a decision. Let's go find Nathan together tomorrow, confront him directly, let him leave our lives. The next morning, Sophia and I arrived at the agreed location very early, but Isabella did not come, waited for a long time. Isabella still hasn't come. This made both Sophia and me a bit hesitant. I called her several times, but no one answered. Just as we were about to give up waiting for her, Isabella finally appeared, but let us be surprised. Surprisingly, the person beside her is Nathan, whom we need to work together with. I was taken aback. Quickly understand what has happened. Isabella has changed her position. Obviously, I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Sophia feels the same way. We exchanged glances. An agreement was quickly reached. I was worried that Sophia would rush over to yell at Isabella and Nathan, but I was wrong. Sophia is very calm. There were no feelings when looking at Nathan. It was as if the person in front of her was not the one she had liked for 2 years, but rather a stranger. Emily, Sophia, I'm sorry, let's divorce. Isabella and I are true love. Nathan saw the 2 of us sitting together. The complexion is not very good. She also invited Isabella to sit next to us. It seems that they are afraid of how we might treat Isabella, specifically shielded her behind him. I know this is not very fair to you, but rest assured, I will give you some money, Emily, as long as you are willing to get a divorce. Your later years will not be so difficult. Nathan's feigned concern disgusts me. Does he still want to threaten us? He thinks we would be threatened by him. I didn't look at him. Instead, he turned to look at Isabella. Take your time to speak. I don't know what benefits he promised you. Change your mind. But if you are doing it for money, I'm afraid it might disappoint you. Nathan used my money to become a partner in the real estate business. A trading company was established using Sophia's money, yet Isabella contributed nothing at all. Moreover, Isabella's marriage certificate was just obtained not long ago. She is someone who knows how to take advantage of situations. Originally, Sophia and I planned to compensate her a little. Unexpectedly, she wanted it all instead. Emily, I don't quite understand what you are saying. Nathan and I are truly in love. You don't think about your children, but I have to think about my child. Said, Isabella was gently stroking her flat belly. This scene left both Sophia and me a bit shocked. As long as you do not regret it, that's enough. I responded coldly. To such a woman, it's really hard to change her mind. I have already hired a private investigator and a lawyer. The matter of Nathan's bigamy and his establishment of a family with another woman and their children has been submitted to the court. While we were chatting, several police officers approached. Nathan, The Municipal Tax Bureau has conducted a thorough investigation. You have evaded taxes amounting to $1 million. Nathan was therefore arrested, sentenced to 20 years in prison for tax evasion. On the day he was imprisoned, we signed the divorce agreement. He was released from prison with nothing. I took back my property. Isabella's ending is that I fulfilled her true love, but Nathan's property is mine. She gained nothing. Exit the law firm. I looked at Sophia. What are your plans for the next steps? So many years. She has always been kept at home by Nathan like a canary. No job. There is also no educational background. There is only one child. Sophia smiled gently. I have to rely on thin air to raise the child. Finished speaking. A tear rolled down her cheek. I have been deceived for so long. Who can accept it in such a short time? I patted her shoulder. Hand her a bank card. There are $500,000 inside. This is the apartment that Nathan bought for you. You can stay forever. Wait until the child grows up. I will take this card back. After speaking, I turned and walked away. I am not someone who is overly tolerant, nor does he intend to take responsibility for Sophia's choice back then. It's just that kind of time. Women should support each other.